Yes, people, what is happening? We are back yet again. McLaren Fan TV, Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time. After the Mexican Grand Prix, yet another thing to discuss. We've got Lando Norris clashing, and we've got Max Verstappen at it again. Boy, Mahad, my co-host, as per usual, MFTV business. How are you saying, Mahad? What's going on?
I'm all good. Lando Norris survived the assassination attempt. and still got on the podium. So thank God he's out of harm's way. But it's kind of scary.
It's on. And probably surprised to see Max even get dealt with, because 2 10-second penalties is hilarious in one race. I'm sorry, that is hilarious. To get it twice. Hey,
you know what? This is what I was expecting in like Jeddah 21, Brazil 21, but all I heard was crickets from the FIA room. But now, bro, this is that second one. Yeah, is egregious.
The second one was diabolical.
I was getting flashbacks at 97. This is just like, if I get this guy to have a DNF, I'm winning the championship.
Yeah, he's willing to risk it all now. I mean, listen, Max Verstappen doesn't want to race since June. Let's have a think about that.
Euros was on. Are people deep in what? No, Euros didn't even finish. Euros was on. We're in group stages.
We're in the group stages of the Euros, and the guy is not won a race since. So,
10 races.
It's been a lot, man. It's been a lot to drink in. I'm fuming at the fact that there's a Ferrari win again, back to back. What's going on there?
Do you know what Ferrari's doing? They're saying anything you can do, we can do. So we got our first back-to-back wins with Baku in Singapore. They go and do a back-to-back. They go get 5 wins. And we go get 5 wins. They go get 5 wins.
Yeah.
They're matching us, man.
They are matching us indeed. Big up to everyone that's in the chat right now. We're going to get through some of your comments as well as we chop things up, man. We'll get started on qualifying. But before we do, Drea says, good evening, everyone. Are we calm again? This was an eventful race. It's another weekend of what could have been. What do you think, man?
Yeah, when you see how it actually played out afterwards.
Yeah.
And see how close Lando got to Sainz. I reckon we missed out on an opportunity to see Sainz and Lando go fight for the win, and possibly Lando win. And that was because Max held up Lando the whole of the first stint and didn't give the position back, and chose to take a penalty rather than give the position back, which is clever on his part, but it's still a bit, if Lando rightfully held his position after the first move, right? And he was ahead of Max, yeah? If the second part doesn't happen, where Max does what he does, Lando's directly behind Sainz for the majority of that race.
He is.
Leclerc's not there. So if you think about it like that, we were robbed of the opportunity to win because of what he did, of what Max did.
We were. I think Drea's right. It was a weekend, a series of what could have been, for sure. Adam Heddle says, evening, everybody. Back on the podium, and could have been a win if it wasn't for a certain driver. And Oscar needs to step up. Ferrari are catching us in the Constructors. Yeah, shout out to you, Adam. The Constructors title is looking a bit interesting, to say the least. And I think Oscar will get into that quali session very quickly. Good recovery race, I guess, but we'll get into it a little bit more. Z says hello. Jean Cartier says hello as well.
Hello, people.
The Oracle says, gonna get myself disqualified at this rate. I'd laugh, literally.
If he does get disqualified, that'll be hilarious.
Yeah.
In a race, in a certain circumstance, if he tries to do that, he's actively trying to get, because he knows if Lando DNFs, the championship's over.
Yeah. True. Even though the gap still is, it's still 8 points per race, isn't it? He has to win by. I think it's like 59.
I think it's more now.
I thought it's like 59 points still.
No, I think it's gone down.
Because I think
it's gone more now. I think it's like 12. Out of his hands now.
Oh, is it out of his hands?
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Nom says, hello, justice was served. Yes, I can't believe it. We can't believe it. That it actually took place. Who Wants to Groove says, hey, what's going on? Z said, yelled at my TV like he could hear me after that second one. The second one was just, it was egregious. You even heard the way Brundle was on comms. I don't know if you listened to the comms or listened to it on Sky F1, but he was like, I love this man, but God, that is not what you do. That is not what you do.
Yeah, I watched this one on my phone, and I did have comms. I watched it on the way home. I watched it on my phone, and I don't want to yell in public. I was just like, what the first one, I was like, okay then. The second one, I was like, you're taking a piss, man.
Yeah, the second one was a violation. Was a violation. I forget how narrow the Mexico circuit is. I don't know why. Like, has it always been difficult to overtake? Like, I don't know why in my mind is because we've always had hell on earth at Mexico. So I've never really, got into the intricacies of it. So this is the first year where we've actually where we're actually in the situation up front to do some damage. I mean, Oscar and whatnot, they got through the pack pretty well. Even Perez did, but it just looked narrow. Like every time Norris and Max were together, I was like, "Oh my god!" You know what I mean? Like on the edge of the seat, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel you.
Waiting for something to happen. And as soon as it was, lap one, what was it? Lap one, turn one, safety car, and it's like, "Oh, here we go."
I'll say this: Lando's got a talent of avoiding people.
Yeah,
he's got very quick reaction times when it comes to avoiding people, because certain other drivers would actually just crash into
straight in.
This guy's just 100% anticipating that this guy's trying to crash into and moving out of the way immediately, no damage. But for me, it's funny because he only does that to people that are a threat to him. He definitely thinks this is a threat.
Yeah,
Max would never act like this if he wasn't a threat.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think because what's funny was him and Charles Leclerc, they've been clean, haven't they? And it could be just the fact that he's never worried about him. Like, we get it. Charles is quick, but like that's about it. Ferrari are not serious enough, so don't worry about no title challenge for them. But when it was Hamilton and now say Norris this year, because it's twice with Norris in the same season, we saw Austria. You know what I mean? We saw
Austria, Austin,
and so now 3 times rather. Yeah, Austin and Austria. So here we are. Jean Carrier says, "Look, I'm not in the championship hype train." he's not
me neither. I'm not either. Until we've said this. Until I see a DNF or no points finish, I'll be there. At the end of the day, we need to recover those points lost in Austria.
If you was a betting man, right? How much would you put down that Verstappen will DNF between now and the end of the season? How much money are you willing to put towards that?
I'm not gonna do betting odds. What I'll say is that it's considering that his engine went plonk.
Yep.
In Mexico, practice 1 or whatever.
Yeah. And
he was fighting for his life with that engine. I'm saying it's like a 35% chance, 40% chance. But do you know what I think's funny? Yeah. I think people say it's going to be an engine DNF, whatever. I think he's going to DNF from crashing. And I don't think he's going to crash with Norris. I think he's either going to crash with Oscar, or he's going to crash with Charles, or he's going to crash with Sainz.
Why not with Norris?
Because I feel like Norris is taking the most avoidant action of all time. He's not trying to get his car damaged at all.
He's not on it, is he?
He's not whatever. On it. Yeah. Whereas with Charles, I've never seen him really back out. Ever.
Yeah.
With Verstappen. We've seen Sainz. Sainz don't back out. Sainz dive-bombed him in this race alone.
Yeah, he did.
And Oscar, we know what Oscar's about. Oscar's like, let's crash together. So but the thing is, he hasn't really met those guys on track enough.
Yeah,
it always seems to be Norris, right?
That's true. No, it's true. It is.
So right now, if we're in a scenario where, I don't know, for example, Oscar's about to overtake him and he's going to lose even more points, what's Max going to do about it? Or if Charles tries to overtake him,
yeah.
We haven't seen those scenarios. I think it's going to be that, or it's going to be an engine, either or. But apparently, he has to take an engine penalty in Brazil, Max. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, it just needs to be exactly one DNF. We just need to recover the Austria points back.
Yeah.
And then the ball is back in Lando's court in terms of just finishing ahead of him.
Yeah.
But until that happens, I'm not really believing in it. We got bigger things to fry. We've said this already. The job's not over. Job's not finished.
No,
we need to finish the constructors right now, because right now for the last 2 races, it's literally just been Lando versus the Ferraris, and we need Oscar back in there.
No, absolutely. We need him definitely in there. Who Wants to Groove says Carlos hype tour. Thinking. Steph says hello guys. Ferrari is scaring me. No upgrades and still.
They learned the lesson of not upgrading the car to move forward. They finally copied us.
Yeah. Adam says our car on hard tires is a cheat code. Agreed. How many times have you seen us go on the hard tire? You thought, oh my god, what are we doing? And them do really, really, really well. Rosa says I jumped around the room when he got the second penalty. Mind you, my family are Max fans. Oh, it's a bit peak there, Rosa. It's a big peak.
I was expecting a 10, but when I saw 20, I said, yo.
Yeah, when he came on the radio and he was like, "Okay, Max, so we've got a second 10-second penalty." I'm thinking, "Jeez, this is big. This is big for sure." Z says, "I'm upset about one thing. Let us know, Z. Let us know what's going on." Haley says, Haley Wilson says, "I'm from Australia and I've finally been able to catch the stream live." Oh, Haley,
this is dedication. Thank you for welcome to the stream. We're gonna give you a whole dedicated time to ask any questions you want on here. As well as we're live. Welcome, Haley. I know you've probably been watching for a while, but we're finally catching you.
I take it your team, Oscar. I take it. I need to know what part of Australia you're from. If you're from Melbourne, like Oscar, glorious scenes. If you're from the Albert Park. Who Wants to Groove says Ferrari is just at the point where they understand how to maximize the upgrades they brought before the second break. Fair dues. Federico, what's going on? Hope you're good. Do you think Max learned his lesson, or will he continue to be a menace on track?
He's head loss, man. He's head loss because I listen. Max is a demanding person. Yeah, Max said before Austria, I need this Austria upgrade to work.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Right now, Ferrari's faster than them, clearly, and McLaren's faster than them. This team is not winning a Grand Prix on the pure pace. For the rest of the season, it's not happening. It's literally not happening. If you saw how far behind they finished in the Austin, so they were quick in the sprint race, right? And I remember you telling us last week that you thought it was over. Yeah. In that race, he was diabolical. That the pace was horrible. In this race, pace was horrible. I don't care about the 22nd. He was fighting for his life immediately from Sainz, and then he was clearly going to get overtaken by Norris eventually anyway. And he probably would have been behind the Mercs. Or fighting the Mercs. So he ain't got the pace to compete anymore. And I guarantee they're not bringing any more upgrades. So he's livid. He is livid.
Do you know what? He's definitely livid. But what I find astonishing is we know when Max is angry with his team, we hear about it. We know about it. It's all out there to be heard. And I feel for some reason like it's almost like he just conceded it. Like, you know what? I can't even get vexed with these guys anymore. Like, I'm going to take it into my own hands. I'm going to do my own thing. Like, screw everything. Like, what the hell has happened to this car? Why haven't we improved? And if we have improved, why hasn't it been enough? Why have McLaren come by? Why have Ferrari coming by? Mercedes took a chunk out of us as well. Like, it's actually quite astonishing, the fall off. I'm being careful. I don't want to say fall off because their car is better than at the beginning of the year. That's the funny thing. So it's like they've got better, but it means
they've not got better at the right rate.
Yeah, just the rate is not there. Yeah, correct. It's not there.
If I tell you, yeah, the average of how far he's behind from the winner of a race for the last 8 races is insane. It's insane time gaps.
You got the gaps, yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna get the gaps. You carry on.
Oh my god, Jay Starship, what's going on? Hope you're good and well. Ella, hello, what's going on? Hope you're well. Sarah Harris, Max isn't acting like the World Championship, World Drivers Champion. Basically, the champion is he's not acting like it's over. Basically, he's not acting like the World Drivers.
No, man, I saw him say the other Sarah. Sarah, I saw him the other day. He said he's not worried. He literally said on verbatim that he's not worried.
There you go.
That's quoted after the race. He said he's not worried. So okay, you say you're not worried. Let's see.
Yeah, let's wait.
You should be worried about like a DNF or something going on. So look, since summer break,
Yeah.
this is how far behind Verstappen has been from the winner of the race. 22 seconds Zandvoort, 37 seconds Monza, 77 seconds Baku, 20 seconds Singapore, 19 seconds Qatar, 59 seconds Mexico.
I couldn't believe 59. I saw 59. I was like,
so
okay, granted the penalty, but wow.
Bro, Magnussen was catching him. In the last stint, Magnussen was catching him.
What's K-Mag doing, man?
So if that car is beefing with Haas and Perez was making no progress or bar Perez having damage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If this is what their car is going to be, this is what I'm saying. Unless it's errors from Ferrari and McLaren, he shouldn't be finishing ahead of them. He should be finishing 5th every race.
Wow. It's 12 points. Dylan Davison says, evening, lads. Hope you're both well. We are good. Hope you're good.
Shout out to you, Dylan.
Catching a little bit of that winter / something cold. The clocks have gone back.
Yeah,
so.
Peter's unwell, guys. Be careful with him.
Trying to hold it down. This will go to the end with Ferrari. We can't afford any mistakes. I'm a bit annoyed by that, actually. The fact that we're swinging with Ferrari.
29 points?
Yeah, it's about 29 points.
I'm not comfortable unless it's 40 points over. It needs to be 40 points over.
Yeah, Oscar, we need you, mate. We need you in this conversation. Jay Starship says, Road to 500 is on. 15 more to go. Subscribe for great content. Yes,
Jay
people.
Starship, shout outs to you.
Come on.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe. If you've got like 4 different accounts, subscribe.
Exactly. Standard. Come on. And Kind of Peters is with you, man. 1 DNF either way. The championship is over.
Very true.
It's over. Adam says, loved Horner getting the telemetry data after the race to show Lando would not make the corner at 10-4.
One thing I'll tell you about Horner, he will ride out for his driver.
Oh, facts.
Not one. He had a poor intern running around Mexico City looking for a printer to print that out.
What did was it Karun Chandok? He literally said to him, he's like, your drivers have been keeping the stewards busy, and then he kind of looked at him like, yeah, okay, if that's how that's how you're gonna put it. That's the way. That's how you're gonna say it. He was almost ready to just. He had so much to say, but it was not good for TV. But let's put it that way. He couldn't say it on TV. But yeah, he backs his drivers, man. He backs his drivers.
He had all the telemetry for turn 4, but nothing for turn 7, turn 8. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
no piece of paper for that one.
Nope, not at all. Who Wants to Groove says, I scared my cat with my outburst at the second Lando Max interaction. Listen, any animal, honestly, all animals across the country, across the globe, were
that was, do you know what that was? That was Gran Turismo lobbies.
Oh yeah.
I said, what on earth is going on here?
Turismo. Oh, what a game.
I said, what is my man doing? Just said, let go of the brakes. He just said, let me ram this guy off. Do you know what? Yeah, to be fair, I'll agree. I don't believe it in this 20 seconds. I think he should have got a stop and go. I think it should have been worse. I think he should have been. I think forget about the first and the second one, infractions, whatever. Yeah. I think he should just get a stop, 20-second stop and go penalty, driving standards.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to just lump everything together and just be like, this is just erratic driving. This is unacceptable driving. You're doing a stop and go penalty.
We've not seen that. When was the last time we saw a stop and go penalty?
I remember, what's the name got a stop and go penalty? Hamilton in Silverstone 21. They gave him 10 seconds stop and go.
Silverstone 21. You got a stop and go.
I swear you got a stop and go. Or am I bugging?
I don't remember it. I just don't. You're probably right. I just don't remember it. Like
it's rare to give a stop and go, but when your driving standards are just absolutely horrific, you need to stop and go. Forget about these time penalties. Who cares?
The comments will let us know. The comments will let us know as per usual.
It doesn't happen often, but yeah.
Zach says, "Hey fellas, finally a stream. I'm not at work during work call during this. Basically, good to be back. Good to have you.
Shout out to you, Zach. Come on,
we're loving what you're seeing. The cynic in me says the FIA gave Max another pen just to portray that the Drivers' Championship is still alive. Wow, Jean. That's that's some incredible moves there. It's
Man,
incredible moves.
FIA is beefing Liberty. They don't want to be making a spectacle of anything, man. They're not working in cohesion with each other.
They are not. They are
At
not.
all.
Drea says, I am actually proud of Lando. He really learned from Austin. That move on turn 4 was perfectly played. Assignment understood.
Yeah, because now he knows that all he needs to do is be ahead of the apex.
Well, this is it. It's ironic, isn't it? The way
that's what they said. That's what Red Bull said. Be ahead of the apex. He's going to be ahead of the apex.
Yeah, literally. When the Skypad had both incidences back to back, you couldn't argue it. You just couldn't argue it. And Canna says differently. Oscar needs to sort out his stories because Leclerc and Sainz look like Titanic combination.
It's looking nuts, man.
Listen, Oscar. Let's talk.
I would have never thought that, you know.
Let's talk about Oscar. Let's talk about the quali.
Before we got to talk about Oscar. We didn't give Oscar any time last week because of what happened with Max, but
yeah,
we've got to talk about Oscar.
But okay, what was going on in qualifying? Because I was catching it. By the way, qualifying being at 10 o'clock at night in the UK, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of was like looking forward to it, but then when it gets to 10, it's too far. Like you're too far away from me. Like I want you, maybe if it was an 8 o'clock thing, like the race was, maybe. But anyway, Oscar Piastri did not look good at all in Q1, and then God knows what happened. You know, track limits. Come on, what are we talking about here?
Track limits on the most weird corner as well. That's not even the corner people will get track limits on. So I don't know. The thing is with Oscar was that he had an advantage this weekend in the sense of that he had more track time. Because he didn't have to give up the car. Shout out to the Power Award. He had Lando's car in FP1, right? Yeah, so he had an extra practice session than him. Fair play, he does not have the upgrade. Yeah. He only has some of the upgrade. He doesn't have the front wing, he didn't have the floor, right? He's gonna get that in Brazil. So therefore he's got a pace disadvantage. I'd say maybe like 2/10 or whatever. He should have a pace disadvantage to Lando, right? But his car is 100% quick enough to get to Q3. Absolutely 100% quick enough to go to Q3, right? Was it a mistake to put him on mediums?
For Q1, I don't think so.
I think he's got the pace to do what he needed to do. I just think he just messed it up. I just think he messed it up.
Was it uncharacteristic of him? Was this a bit uncharacteristic of him? Were you?
Well, just being categorically too slow to get out of Q1. Yeah, definitely, because he's been in Q3 in every session this season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In every Grand Prix session, anyway.
Z's not happy. Slow and track limits, nah. We can't be doing that. Really upset me in Q1. You know, it's so bad in Q1.
And I only say the mediums thing is because Lando's in the upgraded car and Oscar isn't. So maybe it was better to put Oscar on the sauce. But regardless, he had so many shots to get through. All he has to do is get to the Q2. It's not like I'm asking him to do the world. He doesn't even need to finish in the top 10 in terms of qualifying in that Q1. Just put a lap in to get 12th or something to get through. But
it don't matter. It doesn't matter what tire you're on. Even when you're in that McLaren, you can be on the wet tire, mate, and you'll still make Q2. There's some bum driving out there going on with certain teams. You still make it.
This is like it's deja vu because this time last year, who was criticizing the Mexico qualifying? Yeah. Criticizing Lando. So why the hell are you not in getting out Q1?
Yeah, Mexico was.
That's the same for Oscar.
Yeah, Mexico was bad last year. Alex says, I've never seen Piastri like that before. He wasn't fast enough, and when he showed any signs of being fast enough, it was immediately followed by a mistake. I guess the pressure then gets on, doesn't it? When you know you're about to head out, and then you got to put everything into that lap. Yeah, you know, the pressure's on. Drea says Oscar and quali is a little bit worrying, to be honest. A lot of mistakes, most times in Q3, but even that, a lot worse than Lando last year. I hope he gets that under control.
Yeah, I feel like he was closer to Lando last year than this year. It's weird.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't remember.
What did Lando say at the big end of the season? Was going to work on qualifying. So is it Lando just making a step forward? And Oscar not making that step forward? You could argue that because literally that's the only thing Lando cared about at the end of the season. He's like, I'm working on quali. Yeah. Came into the season, I'm working on quali, and then he's taking a step in that. So Oscar now has to take a step in quali. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I can't cook him too much, Oscar,
Yeah.
because quite literally is the first time he's gone out in Q1. It's the
Yeah,
first time
that's
he's not made Q3 in a Grand Prix.
That's true. And look, as Stefan says, look, he will have the upgrades this weekend. He needs to be up there with Lando. What happens with Oscar in Brazil is key. It's key. It's what will make us feel one way or the other about him. So
Yeah, and all the discussion about he's not there to help Lando and stuff like that. I don't care about that. I'm saying he's not there to help McLaren with the constructors.
yeah,
That's all I care about.
No,
So whenever I see Oscar in these scenarios, like at this moment in time, because this is crunch season right now, we've got 4 races in Marine. Yeah, he needs to be there for the sake of constructors.
Yeah.
It's got nothing. It absolutely has nothing to do with helping out Lando for the championship, whatever. Literally, constructors is on the line. We need top 5 finishes minimum every race.
It's on the line.
We need podiums.
Ella said, I slept through quali, so I woke up and saw my timeline on X was cooked. Then I found out Oscar was out in Q1. Yeah, I mean,
I found out Oscar was out. I literally, do you know what I did? I was out, so then I watched highlights when I got to my hotel, and then I saw a McLaren out in Q1. I saw Oscar. I said, let me watch this tomorrow, man. I ain't got time.
I just tweeted like all caps Piastri with about 1,000 eyes. And I was just like, oh my God, what's going on here? Who Wants to Groove says, but I think for the first time being an inexperienced driver is taking its toll. And the second mini break took him out of the driver's mindset. Maybe
after Singapore, that's a long gap to get back into the groove again.
Is it a 2-week gap after Brazil? Is it 3?
It's a 2-week gap.
2, okay. Nom says Lando was also on medium, so
but it's Lando, isn't it?
It's Lando and it's an upgrade. But I don't. To answer the question, I don't think medium was the wrong tyre for Oscar anyway.
Yeah, and Ferrari did the same thing. So,
shout out to Zach. He says Oscar is tough. Clearly, he's quick and a great overtaker, but I think his highs overshadow his inconsistencies. When he's on, he's right there at the top of the grid, but he has too many off weekends. I mean, at the end of the day, he finished 8th. You know,
yeah, he got some points. That's not enough for me though.
He qualified. No, don't get me wrong, but he qualified 17th. Yeah, P17. Yeah. So P17 to P8. You know, the criticism is don't give yourself such a deficit that you have to claw. But he did really, really well.
And at a bare minimum, if he qualifies well, he's P4. He's ahead of the Mercs.
Yeah, true.
And that's a significant. That's not. Then we're not really taking too much of a hit against Ferrari in that race into the constructors.
Henry straight in. He was still P17 after the start. 2 people DNF'd.
Yeah. And the problem was with Oscar that his first stint was not quick enough. He should have overtook Bearman.
Yeah.
Early doors, off the start.
Yeah.
He should have been at least P13 in the first couple of laps. And then that would have made it easier for him in terms of later on in the race. And then he would have definitely got both Hasses and probably he would have got the other Hass and maybe Max.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, you probably could potentially say so. Alex says, this is what I need. I need the dog in Oscar to wake up. That's exactly what we need.
The dog is there, but the speed is there. Where's the speed? The speed is not there. He needs to be fast now. These are the things about not racing. This is just about being quick.
Yeah, true. Hussein says Max terrorism is back. Indeed, it is. And Bonzo Can says, did McLaren have time to bring Oscar in to use a new set of softs in Q1? Did they have the time? Did the session end early?
I don't know. I didn't.
Why do I feel like
quali
ended early? I feel like Q1 ended early.
Oh no! Or was it Q2 because of maybe it was Q2. Sonoda?
I just remember somewhere. He should have done a Perez. It was a good start. Yeah, fair enough. What about Mr. Yeah, it was Q. Okay, Q2 ended early. 16.
What's the name? Sonoda crashed.
Sonoda. That was a nasty one as well, isn't it? Yeah. That was a different one. Yeah,
that's the same. Isn't that the same corner that he got track limits? Oscar. Same corner.
Yes, it is the same corner. It is the same corner, indeed. Just a couple of people who've been putting in the chat here. Bonzo says already getting flashbacks of Turn 4 Brazil. Max will send Lando into Vegas.
Oh God.
Do
you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Yeah. Do you know what it is? Yeah. As we're on the topic of quali,
yeah.
I personally believe, that Lando should have qualified ahead of Max.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think that's crazy to say.
I didn't think Sainz's time was possible. Sainz was just on it. He was not getting Sainz's time at all, yeah. But I truly believe if Lando 100% maximize quality, he outqualifies Max. If he outqualifies Max, it's a whole different race. But then Max might try to take him out in the first corner from behind. So it's a catch-22 here, you know.
You know that. It's a different level, man. It's a different level. Dre is saying, look, Oscar didn't catch Magnussen in a Haas. That wasn't too encouraging. Even without the upgrades, tires were much younger.
That's what I'm saying, man. When I saw it and the Max wasn't and the time wasn't going down between him and Magnussen, I was just like, "Come on, Oscar, please, man. Yeah. Please let this be the last Stinker weekend."
Yeah, we on a real.
And do you know what's so funny? We said this. We had it in chat, and I said last year Austin and Mexico, Oscar had a stinker. He was not good, and this year he's not good again.
Towards the end of the season, isn't it? To somebody's point earlier, you said that maybe it's the sort of the not experienced in Formula One that you might have this after the break. Maybe it's just the fact that this season's been long. The ones like this is a long season. Like maybe it's just that. Maybe Oscar's having to just adapt to like what used to be 17 race calendar season. We're in the 20s comfortably, mid-20s now, early mid-20s. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. No, it wasn't Yuki who crashed in the corner. Oscar got track limits first corner of the stadium.
Oh, section. I thought it was 12. I thought it was turn 12.
Ah, okay.
I don't know, man. Okay. I'll check anyway.
What about your boy Lando Norris, man? Lando Norris, qualified P3, finished P2. Overall, we've spoken about obviously how good he was against Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
What did anything else impress you about him this weekend?
I think he from that scenario with the whole of Max and like what happened and trying to these avoiding actions and costing him position to Charles Leclerc, he was absolutely fantastic. His pace was once Max boxed, he was gone. He was rapid. He was the fastest man on track. He was rapid. Yeah. He hunted Leclerc down like a dog with a bone. People will think, oh yeah, Leclerc, his tires, blah blah blah. Lando pitted before Leclerc. Leclerc had fresher tires. So let's end that conversation right now.
He did.
Leclerc admitted himself he just had a bad weekend. It was just one of those things because he couldn't keep up with Sainz and Norris just chased him down.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, he's in the zone, isn't it? And one of the things I did like was that even after the race, all the talk obviously was about his clash with Max, and he was sort of like, I like the fact that he said, you know what, like we don't want it. Like I like racing. I'm excited. This is why I like to race. I like to race hard, right? Fair, but like competitive. And so like I like the fact that it wasn't like a moan fest. I know Red Bull tried to act like, McLaren have been arguing a lot. They've been moaning a lot, hence why Max got the 20. But yeah, even just the way like Norris was like, look, bring on the challenge, man. Let's get it on. Like I'm happy to do battle with him. Like this, he's a great driver. Love him, and let's go. Like what I mean. Let's go and do this. It's almost like next season could be very, very scary to watch, guys. In a good way for McLaren. Like it could be very scary in the sense of Lando just 20 seconds on everyone, 20, 30. We could see him do what Hamilton used to do, what Max used to do himself. We could see it, man. I
have no doubt in my mind that you can do that. If the car is there and the car is better than everybody else, I have no doubt you can do that. He could be doing it Vettel.
Yeah, Vettel. That's the better one. Yeah, that's the better.
He could be doing up like just what's the point? He's winning by 10 seconds, 20 because we've seen it. When he's in clean air, he's an animal. He was in clean air, and he absolutely dunked. He ate time out of Leclerc.
Yeah,
Leclerc couldn't comprehend it to the point where he nearly went into the wall.
Mate, where was you, man? I was waiting. I screamed to see him go. I needed that wall. I needed him to make some contact.
If we went, this is what low key. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Let me just chill out for a second. Yeah, if he went into the wall, and they had to call the safety car, then that's it. We're right behind Sainz. We're winning the race.
It's over.
We're 100% winning the race. So I was thinking, Leclerc, why did you save it? I was like, I was so pissed off. I was like, at least clip the wall so there's a virtual safety car or something, man.
It was a world-class save, because how he when you look at the replays of how much that car was jittering and sliding, fair play to Charles for keeping it on. But let me tell you that I nearly jumped, mate. I jumped literally. I was like, come on. Like, I was hoping he went in there. Not that I want him injured or nothing, but you know what I'm saying?
I just need a safety car. Because that safety car helps out Lando, and it helps out, what's the name? And it helps out Oscar. So I was like, please.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, the first thing killed us, man. Max knows what he's doing. Max said, I'm going to hold 20-second penalty. I'm not going to give the position back. I'm going to hold 20-second penalties because I already can see that he's got the pace that he can beat Sainz. So I'm not allowing it to happen. He knows the threat that Norris is.
It's a chess game, this game.
He's playing chess.
It's a chess game.
He didn't do that to Sainz. He did it to Leclerc because he did it to Lando because he's like, I don't want Lando to win the race. I don't care about Sainz winning the race. He's like, for him, Sainz winning the race is better for him.
It's beneficial, yeah.
So he don't need to run Sainz off the track like that.
Yeah.
So for me, Lando, look, I was actually tweeting about this earlier. Yeah? People that are quick, we already know they're quick. We knew Lando was quick from season 1.
Yeah, from day.
And all the other stuff to develop was the tire management, all this other stuff that is around it. But when we talk about leading pace of top drivers, Lando's got that, and nobody could deny that. Has anybody said, "Oh yeah, Lando was slow"? When is that? That's not even a topic of conversation.
No,
amongst the F1 community, that Lando is slow. He's not slow.
Absolutely not.
So if he gets into scenarios, this is what I'm saying. If he gets into a scenario where he's getting pole positions consistently and he's keeping onto the pole positions and he's driving onto the distance, a la Singapore, a la Zandvoort, it's going to get scary hours for F1.
It certainly will. Everyone's in agreement. Look, Lando had a great race. People are not having anything bad to say about him. And in fact, they're bigging him up in terms of the progression and everything else. Bonzo Can says, look, Lando had a fantastic race. Head down, kept his cool, caught Leclerc, almost forcing Leclerc to crash. Zach says Lando at least challenges for the win. If he's not wrongly stuck behind Max for those laps, you would definitely agree on that. Ever since Singapore, Norris has been clear-minded on it. Something mentally switched in him, and he's been trouncing Piastri ever since.
Do you think that's impacting Piastri?
1,000%. 1,000%.
And that's impacting his performances because he's thinking, oh, what's Norris is doing a madness.
You know what it is like? If you got a work colleague, yeah, and you know how they're like at work, and they're consistent, like at work, you've got used to their behavior, and then they've gone away for 2 weeks. They've been on annual leave. They come back here. You know, when you come back fresh from holiday, you're a new man. You're a new man at work. You come back to the office or whatever, and you're like, right, let's attack this. And they attack it with a vengeance of like, you know what, till the next holiday. You know what I'm saying? Or at least to get this. I don't want to be in this position no more. I need that promotion. They kind of just come with that new lease of life. And when you're the colleague watching it happen to someone else, because I've seen it in my own situation where I'm like, rah, like this guy's just gone all of a sudden, and it kind of makes you think, do you know what? Like, okay, cool. I need to. I look worse off than I did before, and now I need to actually get up and be like, right, let's get the head screwed on. Off we go. That I think is definitely a thing. I don't think Oscar expected this trajectory from Lando because he understood what Lando was doing all season long. Yeah, and then he's just the thought. Where was the 20 seconds on Verstappen? Was that at Zandvoort?
Singapore?
Was it Singapore?
Or was it Zandvoort? He did two. He did two.
Bro, the first time it happened, even I stood there and was like, wait a minute, I'm not used to this. I'm used to it being the other way around. But you're telling me my McLaren is doing 20 seconds on Max Verstappen?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what world are we living in? So I was shocked by that. We were hoping for some race wins. not slam dunks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we were saying
not in that manner.
Not in that manner.
Zandvoort fastest lap on the last lap type of X.
God, it's Oscar. Oscar is gonna be looking at Lando with like, man.
I've got to step up even more.
I've got to do something now. And I think what's good is Oscar's good at responding when people are doubting him. When he's hyped up a lot, he kind of, I don't want to say he gets into his own head. I'm not going anywhere near there. When he knows that people acknowledge how good he is, we don't see the same consistency of Oscar over time. But
Yeah.
as soon as Oscar is not a conversation, or like now, we're talking about him in a sense of like, dude, we need you.
Yeah.
He does something in the next couple of races where it's like, what was you lot talking about? What were you lot saying?
Yeah. I don't doubt his ability to bounce back. But like I said, when it comes to F1, this is the things we're talking about, that you need time. It's about consistency. People are telling me that Oscar could beat Lando this season. There was a lot of takes at the summer break saying that Oscar's going to finish ahead of Lando in the championship. I'm seeing it that he doesn't have the consistency. We saw it beginning of the season. Why would it all of a sudden be consistent now? He needs to string a season together of consistency.
Yeah.
And that comes with experience, but please don't put that on his head immediately. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
So all of these takes will fall through.
Yeah.
Oscar's the number one driver. That guy has to string 20 races together for me to say that.
Yeah, no, for real. Sprint weekend, isn't it, this weekend?
Yeah.
Oscar wins the Sprint Grand Prix.
I was gonna say Qatar, the next race.
I've got my. I think Brazil. I think Oscar's got Brazil here. There's the sprint.
I think Qatar he's going to do very well because for some reason he's cracked there because he's very, very good at high speed corners. He's a maniac.
Yeah.
But Brazil, I think he'll get back on the podium. I think it's time now.
And
we need a double. Do you know the perfect response to Ferrari right now is a 1-2.
It's a 1-2.
At 100% is a 1-2.
It's a 1-2, mate. Look, people, and you know what? Thank God for this community that we got here, because you guys are, and I don't just mean it just because like you guys kind of agree with what we're saying and everything else, but like just see, like I can imagine what it's like with these fan, but the ex Twitter kind of fandom when it comes to like your Norrises, your Piastris, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that when we see, okay, look, we agree, Oscar's not done excellent, but it's not the end. Do you know what I mean? So, I guarantee you half of this seeming 5/10 gap is all in Piastri's head. Maybe so, but Haley says, look, I believe in Oscar. I believe Oscar can bounce from these races, but definitely needs to improve a few things like quali and tire management. We spoke about tire management many times, and I think he's actually got better at that. There was a moment where we were like, dude, these tires are getting cooked. yeah. But I think he kind of stepped back a bit on that. I don't know. What do you think?
I think right now he's in a new zone, a new problem.
Yeah.
Because he's getting significant time dunked on his head by his teammate in quali.
Yeah.
So therefore you're behind your teammate in quali.
Yeah.
Like Singapore, for example. That's just no. Come on.
It's a no for me.
This can't happen.
Yeah.
So when now he has to like he's playing catch up every weekend, and then in that scenario as well, Lando's now getting the upgrades and he's not, but he's still in a quick car, so he still needs to be at least close to him as well at the same time.
Yeah,
and decent. I feel like Oscar does well at tracks that he knows very well. Qatar he knows very well because he did testing there for Alpine. He's done so many laps on that track. He knows all the European tracks, all the F2 tracks. He knows what he's doing. Like. Yeah. This is last year he didn't race in Austin because he DNF'd.
Yeah.
So this is the first proper race in Austin, and Mexico he just was not good last year, and he hasn't worked out yet, and he hasn't worked out this year. So he still did a good recovery for the sake of it. So he's not rubbish driver or anything like that. But I expect him to bounce back because we really need it. Because look at him, Sainz is on form, Leclerc is on form. That's two drivers on form that are collecting big points, that are winning races.
Big points.
And getting pole positions. So we need him there because, for real, Lando can't just do it by himself.
Absolutely.
Till the end of the season. Absolutely. And I'm not saying that Lando has done it by himself because Oscar's fourth in the championship. He's got a lot of points.
Yes.
But we just need it to switch back on again.
And it's a shame.
We need Baku Oscar back.
It's a shame because Oscar should be comfortably third in this championship. Like comfortably.
Yeah, the fact that he's not overtaking Leclerc's got my head steaming. and it's not even possible for him to come back now. And
then you got my man behind him. Sainz is right there behind him now.
Sainz 11 points.
It's crazy.
Who would have thought?
Do you know, I can't lie. The only joy I took of Sainz winning that race, I was thinking, Ferrari, man. Ferrari can't even smile. Do you know what I mean?
And we needed. The thing is, now we've got this another pressure. We've got Leclerc behind Lando. And if Oscar was taking points off Leclerc, then Leclerc wouldn't be behind Lando like that.
Like this, yeah. No, absolutely. But we believe, yeah. Nom even says,
Yeah.
"Look, I believe he'll bounce back." We can not fight each other in turn one. No, we won't fight each other in turn one. 1-2 business. I think Brazil is Lando's weekend. I do too. By the way,
He was rapid last year.
I think he'll win the race in thing. You know, I know my McLaren hat is on, but yeah, I think he'll win the race.
He got sprint pole last year. He was rapid in the race. When I mean rapid, it was just him and Max and everyone else.
Like,
they were
this
light years ahead of everybody else time wise.
Interlagos is one of my favorite circuits, if not my favorite.
That's top 3, man.
It's quick, man. It's good. It's quick. It's bloody quick. I love it. Brazil is sprint and Qatar. Yep, Qatar is as well. Rosa says we are aiming for 5 trophies in Brazil. I hear that, Rosa. I hear you.
Yeah, I saw the little debrief video. We're getting 5 trophies, man. That's the aim, man. The best response right now is a 1-2.
That's exactly what you have to do. That's what you have to do. Ella agrees with you. Look, Oscar gets Qatar. I'm saying Oscar podium in Brazil, then wins Qatar. Listen, people are here. The people are speaking, man. You guys are all in agreement. I think I have to follow suit, mate. If Oscar needs that similarity track where he can get himself back in the zone again, okay.
He's very good in high-speed tracks. We saw Silverstone. He's rapid. Them high-speed corners, he's rapid. And that's due to, you know, one thing that people don't talk about? Oscar's extremely brave.
He's extremely brave.
He's extremely brave in these corners. So that's why he excels in those type of tracks.
Yeah. Henry saying that I think Brazil will be Lando. He was a lot quicker in quali than Oscar last year, fair dues.
Yeah.
This is why I deleted X. Too toxic for my liking.
Yeah, X is a joke. Some of the stuff that I'm saying, people are defending Max's movement, the second move. I'm like, what?
So Sarah said this as well. You know, the fact that I was still seeing Lando hate after Max's dirty driving hurt my head. Listen, there's only so much.
This is just the same as 21, guys.
Sarah, I've got a question. I've got a question. Is that you in that in that avatar? Is that you holding the champers with a McLaren hat on? Because if you are working at McLaren, we need to know. we need to know. Okay. TSJ also says Lando kept calm despite being a victim of attempted terrorism.
Do you know what? That's the biggest level of terrorism I've seen since Jeddah 21.
Since Jeddah.
And Jeddah 21 is documented by me as the worst Formula One race in history.
Do you reckon? Yeah, worse than Monza.
That should have been he should have been black flag disqualified. I'm the same guy that seen Montoya get disqualified
for less
for stupidness.
For less, yeah.
When he went out of the pit lane in 2005 Canada, when the red light was still on, and they disqualified him, black flagged him out of the race. How is that a black flag and that's not a black flag? And what he did in Jeddah was not a black flag. How was the move that he just did to Max not a black flag?
Do you know
the move Max did? The second move is a black flag.
That's the one when Toto literally threw his headset, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's the one.
And even this weekend, that's just happened. It's a black flag. The second move is always a stop and go. Are you crazy? I want to see no 10-second time on it.
Because it was legit. Like, I need to take you off this circuit, bro. We're both going off, and I'm making sure you're coming off with me. I'm in just to collect you. The fact that the only thing I will say though, like on board, yeah, Max has got is turning left, right? And I think Karun was saying like, look, he's fully understeering, right? Fully understeering. So even if Lando wasn't there, he's understeering.
He's going off
the track.
Yeah.
So I was a bit like, well, okay, so then does it mean that he tried to turn and he couldn't make it because the car just didn't behave? Or was he just too damn fast?
He carried speed. He carried way too much speed. He braked. If they check the telemetry, I bet he braked way later than he usually braked on that corner.
Yeah, and then compared to the last
then
couple
then he'll be like, oh, I understood. I'm like, bro, no, you late. He braked how many meters later? Come on.
Yeah, it's
still
crazy.
Angry, by the way, as you could tell.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? It's egregious. It was an egregious attempt. I must admit, it was an egregious attempt. And I thought, you know what? You know, like if this is what we're going to be doing, you know what I mean? If this is what we're going to be doing, like when I saw Hamilton and him swinging it out in 21, there was a part of me that was like just enjoying the battle because I didn't have that no dog in the fight. Obviously, I love Hamilton, but I also still wanted to watch these two really go for it. And we've had Hamilton win however many championships in a row. I did not mind seeing Max really attempt and tackle and beat Lewis that year. But my God, it was like, even to the one that wanted to see Max win. Jeez, it's
no, but to me, like even back then, Brazil wasn't racing to me. What the hell was that?
Yeah, Brazil was what we just went through in Mexico.
That's that's that to me. But even back then, that was not racing. Same way that this is why I wasn't particularly a fan of Michael Schumacher, because the stuff I was seeing as a kid, this is not racing.
Yeah. No, it's not racing.
It's just desperation.
Look, Henry's saying here, Max braked 50 meters later into turn 7 at a higher entry speed. Sorry, but yeah. We might have another Brazil 21 incident that we don't need. If we get that this weekend, and then
but then let's have a 21 Brazil incident because that means we win the race. Because Hamilton dunked on his head.
Do you think they'll? Yeah. Do you think they'll? I don't think they're that brave enough.
What do you mean?
I don't think they'll do it again.
No. Do you know what it is? Yeah?
I don't think they'll do it again.
One thing I'll tell you right now, the difference between 21 and now, is that Zach Brown is way better at lobbying.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Brown, Stella, and them guys are way better at lobbying the FIA than Toto was. Then Toto wasn't strong enough.
No, Toto looked at it from like our side. This is not fair.
McLaren will do a madness.
Will pull out. There's a legal guy that they take with them everywhere. There's clearly somebody in there that they take with them everywhere.
They're gonna do a madness in terms of lobbying the shit. Look what they did. After Austin, I want people to acknowledge what happened because people are like, "Oh, why did it take so long to appeal it?" What happened in Austin, right? The decision when Lando got a penalty. They literally presented the evidence. They collected everything, presented it on the Friday, right? On practice, Quite literally, the next day, FIA says we're going to change the rules. They're changing the driving standard rules just because of the appeal. Do you know how much weight that is?
That's crazy.
Because all that other times that everybody's appealed Max Verstappen and the driving stuff, they've never changed the rules. Now they change the rules. That's how effective that was. Even though the penalty didn't get overturned, Norris's penalty overturned, they're literally changing the rules.
Yeah.
They're going to change these apex rules.
It's crazy.
So that worked out in the long term. Jay Starship, don't play with me.
What are you trying it for?
If you go back to Pit Stop Fracas and you listen to what I used to say on that in 21, don't play with me. I want an apology. I was calling that out from the jump. Don't do that.
Oh dear. Ryan P says, what's it called? How Lando evaded being taken out was great driving because it looked like they made a little bit of contact. Yeah, I thought so. Hoping McLaren keeps up the pressure to the FIA. 1 week of penalties is not enough.
But this is whatever the pressure McLaren are doing to the FIA. It's all long term.
Yeah, it's all about changing it further down the road, isn't it?
It's all long term, and I'd rather it be long term than now. The way these rules are set up, you're not getting stuff overturned. The most shocking one that got overturned was Alonso in Jeddah last year, where they just overturned the penalty. Remember, he wasn't in his pit box or something like that. That's the most random one. But apart from that, nothing ever gets overturned. Just because of the way the rules are set up.
We know this can happen. Jean's put here, I thought Max would do a Schumacher and DNF himself and Hill.
Yes, this is what he tried to do.
It's coming.
This is what he tried to do. And he will do it again if they're on track again.
It's true. Nom says hopefully he gets a grid penalty so we don't have to worry about him. Yeah, because he's taking the engine, right?
Yeah, apparently he's taking an engine penalty. If you're going to take an engine penalty, you either do it now or you do it in Qatar. I think he's going to do it now. But for the thing, what would be perfect if he had a bad quali?
Yeah. That would
be qualified like 5th, and then he took a 5 grid penalty, then he's 10th.
Lovely.
Then he ain't winning that race. He's not even going to be near us on track.
Lovely jubbly. Danny Dorito says McLaren need the Man City 115 lawyers if Brazil 21 happens. They have to fill the book.
We just need Stella in the rule book. We're good.
I know, Mahad. It's not you.
Thank you.
Well, you're not saying it's me, are you?
I know she said the shots. I don't know. This sounds like.
All I said was like, I love the fact there was some good racing. Jeddah was diabolical. Brazil was ridiculous. It was a joke. Even Silverstone was a farce. Do you know what I mean? So,
Silverstone's a racing incident, by the way, guys. Just to let you know.
What's that FYI?
Not to start beef and our channel to get cooked. I said it at the time. I said it now. Oh, the racing incident.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Random question: who's our Jonathan Wheatley? We need someone like that at McLaren.
Well, our Jonathan Wheatley is Randy Singh. That's the job that he's supposed to do instead of strategy. Hence why they hired the guy and Will Courtney. Will Courtney. That's why they hired Will Courtney to do strategy, because Randy Singh is not doing the job he's supposed to be doing. That's the job he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be the Jonathan Wheatley.
Yeah.
And he already got the rules bloody changed. So he's done a good job there.
Oh, man. That's not good racing. Come on, Pian. What did I say was good? Let's not bring up 2021. My head is still
No.
I'm not saying it was good racing.
He said hard.
First of all, just the fact that just to see Hamilton get battled was good to watch. Was it fair? Absolutely not all the way. Definitely not. And then he got royally screwed over at the end. Listen, I'm Team Hamilton, by the way. You know what I mean? He's a former McLaren man. You know what I'm saying? He looks like me. It is what it is. What we giving these drivers out of 10? What are we saying? Let's start with Oscar. What's Oscar got out of 10?
Quali is just bloody hell, man. He's getting automatically -4 for Quali. But good recovery in the race.
-4.
Good recovery in the race. So I'm gonna give him a 6.5. It was definitely better than last weekend. Just good at the recovery.
At the end of the season, I need to tally up everybody's.
I'm gonna watch up. I'm gonna watch every stream and add it up.
Add up these because it's I don't know. Oscar, I'm seeing too many of these 6s for Oscar.
No, Oscar's got 10s though. Oscar's on my life. Oscar had 10s this season.
Oscar's probably got 10s. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is though, I feel like Oscar 6 is almost like the car number and his name. Every time we do a stream, Oscar 6 pops up.
This is why, guys. This is why we do these streams, because we're looking at race by race, right? Rather than people that have the rose tinted glasses and be like, oh no, but Oscar's been fantastic, oh Lando's been fantastic, whatever. We look at it race by race and we'll average it out. Our end of season stream, we'll do it. Yeah. We'll go for it. I'll make a spreadsheet. We'll share it on the screen. We'll go for it.
Sick. Looking forward to that. Jay sees my point. Thank you very much. Jay, what's going on, man? Come on, Shay, what's up? Huh?
Don't kill me, man.
That's why you like. That's why you love him. Okay,
Skinfolk.
It's why you love him.
Kinfolk.
It was a kinfolk. Oscar 6 says Hussein. What about that rapid pit stop, by the way? Number 1.
Yeah, we'll leave it. We'll leave that to the end. Pit stop's gonna get there. We're leaving that ranking to the end.
Come on, Z.
They're the goals right now.
Come on, Z. Stefan says Oscar 6. Drea says Oscar 5. Alex says Oscar. Oh, Piastri 4.5. Good grief.
Alex, man.
Haley, yeah, you got to represent your people, okay? Haley says sounds harsh, but Oscar, but a 5 and a 9 for Lando Norris. 4.5 says Henry. 6.5. The point.
That's why I said 6.5 because he didn't get the upgrade.
I'm giving him a 6. Nah, bun that, man. 0.5. Nah.
So last week I gave him lower than you did, and now this week you're giving him lower than I did.
We can't do 2 weeks back to back. Come on, like don't forget.
No, last week I was livid
because last week it's just there. It was just it's like the race is still in my mind there. So to have that and this. You know what I'm saying? That's at the end of the day. Oscar 4 says TSJ awesome. Z says 5. The Oracle says, look, quali was diabolical. First stint was diabolical. Couldn't catch Magnussen. 4, 5.
Fair points. That's 3 things.
That's great. That's swinging people the other way around. Danny says, did you see Lawson give Checo the bird?
Why has Lawson got beef with every Spanish speaker? He didn't move out of the way for signs for blue flags.
Mm-hmm.
He beefed Alonso last week. He's beefing Perez. And he's beefing Colapinto. He crashed into him at the end.
What are you saying, man? What's the allege here? What are you trying to say?
No, I'm not saying that, man. I'm just saying that Lawson might not be feeling the tapas and tacos. He's not feeling it.
He's here to take a Red Bull seat, mate. That's what he's here for.
Man, right,
he's here to do business. All right, Lando Norris. Stefan says 9.5. Drea 9.5. The Oracle 9.5. Wow, there's a lot of 9.5s. Henry 9.5. Okay, guys,
he's getting a 9.5 because all he didn't do was win, and the win was out of his control anyway. Because he avoided assassination. He's the opposite of JF Kennedy. He avoided assassination.
I'm sorry. 9.5 is too damn high.
Actually, no. Do you know what? Do you know what? I don't know why nobody's talking about it, but he should have qualified on the front row. So I'm giving him a 9. I'm not ignoring qualifying.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Max is ahead of him?
No chance.
How can Max be ahead of him? No chance. And listen, Sainz's laps. Yeah, he pulled them out of the chamber. Right, fair enough. Okay, locked in. But 9.5 is too damn high. Ella says 8.5 for Lando.
Oh, that's good.
Drea says 5 is average. I think he was average. Quali under-delivered. This is obviously talking about Oscar Piastri. Under-delivered, race minimum. Lando was 15 last year, 17 last year, finished P5. Different race, but you get her point.
Yeah.
Rosa says Lando 9, Oscar 6.
Yeah, I agree, Lando 9.
You think 9?
I think 9 just because quali is a bit of a dampener, and then the other 0.5, you got to win the race. You're not getting 10 on here if you don't win the race.
Because I'm looking at 8.5, guys.
Why are you giving 8.5? Quali, and then what did he do wrong in the race? He nearly died. I'm telling this to Alex Ferguson. He could have been killed.
He nearly died. It's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay. Do you know what? I think I got to watch the race back.
Quali is 8.5. Quali is minus 0.5. 100%.
I got to watch the race back. I'm thinking of watching. I'm watching the race because
Georgie, welcome.
Shout out to Georgie. Yes, hello to all the Papaya fans. Finally, Lando found out how to race against Max Verstappen. By the way, my name's Georgie. Yeah, shout out to Georgie. What's going on, man? I hope you're good. Dion, good to see you back, man. Oscar 4.5, Lando 8.5. Zach, is that a Guna? Meza Ozil, we love all of that, of course. Lando 8.5. Quick Scott D says Oscar 4, second to worst teammate. Pit ahead of Max, cost his team points because of poor quali.
All right. He did. I will say he did cost us constructors points, but apart from that, we move with it. As the race is flawless. He nearly died. Yeah, his pace was amazing throughout the race from the jump.
Yeah.
So you're literally just negatives to qualities. That's all you got to do. How much weight
besides the situation with Max, you don't think he could have done better than I guess P2 is good, isn't it? Yeah, P2. What am I talking about? Yeah. I mean
the first stint was he didn't win he weren't close to Sainz because of what happened with Max.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine. He'll get a 9. But he shouldn't have been behind Max to start things off.
Yeah,
I think that's my
annoyance. But I think if Sainz and Lando start on the front row, either Lando gets ahead or Max tries to clout him from behind.
Yeah,
he tries to do something crazy.
Fair. No, fair. Okay, what about our strategist? Sorry, pit crew. What am I talking about?
Our pit crew, 10 out of 10.
10, yeah.
Let me get this up.
10, yeah. But where, I can't lie. What was Lando's quickest time? Because I couldn't find it in the top.
So there was only 2 pit stops. There's only 2 pit stops. Yeah. So Piastri 1.9, fastest pit stop. 1.9. That's a 10th of the world record.
Yes.
10th of the world record.
Yes.
And then Norris was third, 2.38.
Oh.
So we had 2 pit stops in the top 3. That's a 10. 1.9. We nearly broke the record again.
So 1.9, easy 10. People are out there.
I'm targeting the Qatar again. We're gonna break the world record again. We'll get 1.7.
There we go. Scott D said, Lando 9, cleared Leclerc and cleanly and quickly slower car. Dion says, look, took Lando way too long to get past Kevin Magnussen. 3 laps too long, which cost him possibly catching Sainz.
No. Dion, you can't just come in the stream and say that. What about what was going on in the first thing where he was literally tried to be assassinated when he could have just been right behind Sainz for the rest of the race?
Yeah, he could have been. Absolutely.
We're nitpicking it.
We're
nitpicking a guy that was nearly assassinated
on a JFK. Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Alex says pit crew 10. Rosa says 10s across the board, and Scott D says look 9.9 didn't get a 1-2. What is going on here, Scott?
You got a fair point.
But come on, 9-9.
Nah, man. Shout outs to the pit crew, man. We see these guys on Twitter, man. They're active, man. Shout outs to them guys, man.
I've seen one of the pit stops where you see one of them just there waiting like this. This guy was waiting. He was like, "Give me them tires. Give me that tire, bro. I'm ready for you."
Yeah.
Strategists, did they do anything wrong?
I don't think nothing I know of.
No,
in the race.
Yeah,
I think they put Oscar in out for too long, a little bit. They put him in behind some cars that he shouldn't have been behind. But at the end of the day, you kind of make your own race when you're in that situation, when you've qualified that far behind.
Yeah, that's true. One of the pit guys was having an itchy nose. Is the difference between a 1-2 and a 1-3 in the pit stop ranking? What's it called? Pit stop rankings come on. It's a 10. Let's not 10, do this.
When you're taking the piss
straight,
and the person that was in between us is Red Bull, who's the top picker as well.
Yeah,
and they did it with Perez because they had 1 million Perez pit stops.
Oh, they did.
They had practice.
LS's strategy is at 8, but Oscar put Oscar too long. Z says 9. But let's have a look. Please don't take this the wrong way, says Dion, right?
We've been told now. Dion, your word is bond. We won't argue with you again.
I've been an F1 fan longer than you two combined.
All right, your word is bond.
Your word is bond. I'm not too sure about Oscar's strategy, but I think they had to wait for a gap for Oscar. So 8.5.
I'll just say 8.5. I'm just gonna cop out and say 8.5 because I didn't see anything too crazy egregious apart from the Oscar thing. Maybe
I wouldn't. Scott says strategy is 7.5. Oscar pulled Oscar before he could hold up.
Oh yeah, I never actually thought about that.
And then Hussein says strategy 8.5. I'm gonna go 8, right there in the middle.
I'll go 8.
I'm gonna go 8. Guys, the Brazilian Grand Prix is this weekend. Sprint Rule Grand Prix. And some of you already said we're looking at all of the points we can get. 5, 6, whether it's sprint, shootout, sprint race, quali race, fastest laps, you name it. 1, 2. Yeah. It's going to be a crazy one. Dion says they had a 9 on the strategy. Fair dues. To
be fair, when you don't notice strategy, they had a good strategy. Though.
Yeah, Lando wins both sprint and main race, says Z. And look, as you can see on the ticker below, Constructors Championship, we are number 1, P1 in the Constructors, and the drivers, Mr. Lando Norris P2, closing the gap on Max, and Oscar Piastri P4. People, we will see you after the Brazilian Grand Prix next week. We go again. Yeah, shout out to all of you. Until next time, people, lights out. Peace.